Hi everyone, my name is Rick McCoy. Welcome to this presentation for Gladiacoin, a platform that enables you to double your Bitcoin in just 90 days. So I want to begin by giving you just a little bit of a history of Bitcoin in case you haven't heard of it yet. But back in 2009, a person or a group of people under the pseudonym name of Satoshi Nakamoto publishes a white paper that appeared online. And it discussed the first decentralized major cryptocurrency of worldwide value that would become known as Bitcoin. But the creation was not about thinking of money. It was about the idea of being able to make a transaction anywhere in the world without the aid of intermediaries, like MoneyGram, PayPal, Western Union. Think about it. If you use Western Union, you have to walk into the office. You got to show ID, you got to pay your cash, you got to pay your fee, you got to know the name, address, sender on the other end. The person receiving the money has to go into the Western Union office. They got to show ID, they got to collect their money, convert the currency, blah, blah, blah. But what if you'd be able to literally, within seconds from your own smartphone, be able to send currency anywhere in the world in a fraction of a second and at a fraction of the cost? That was the whole idea behind what Satoshi Nakamoto had discussed in his white paper that appeared 9 years ago. And here's a copy of that. In fact, I have it on the website if you want to read it. And to this date, nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. So imagine that. Bitcoin has a market value right now in excess of $20 billion, and yet nobody has stepped forward to say, I am the person who created the blockchain technology, the open source that is free for people to use, that he didn't give to a government or a company. So when it was released back in 2009, it was in the wake of one of the largest financial shocks in history. We were just coming out of 2008, where we had the collapse of many of the financial institutions because of their greed with these subprime mortgage loans. But it's a digital cryptocurrency. It's not regulated. It's not issued by any government. Governments print money when they run out. Bitcoin, well, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be mined, and that's it. Once it's mined, that's all that will be in circulation. It has been the strongest currency in the world for the years 2010 through 2013, outperforming even gold. And when we come into the year 2017, with the exception of 1 year, it has been the strongest currency in the world. Why? Because it's what people want, and we don't have to work through banks. We don't have to work through Western Union, PayPal, or any of the other companies that you see here. Well, let's look at the value of a Bitcoin. What is it worth today? Well, back in 2010, it was worth 10 cents per Bitcoin. It's changed a little bit in 7 years because now it's increased in value. It's been very volatile, up and down, but now it's really gained its traction. Now one Bitcoin has an average value of 1,200. So if you were fortunate, and I'd really love to meet you and shake your hands, to have invested $100 in Bitcoin just 6 years ago, well, guess what? You're sitting on a value of $1.2 million today. However, I was thinking about that statement because I joined Gladiacoin at the beginning part of March, and I was thinking I came in for one Bitcoin, which had the value of about 1,200. If I had taken that same Bitcoin value, which was 1,200, back in 2010 when it was selling for only 10 cents, and I said, I want to put this into this Bitcoin idea, this cryptocurrency. Maybe it'll do something. If I let that go of that, 7 years later, today on this call, it would be worth over $12 million. I wasn't that smart. And I think the reason that 99.9% of the people that are watching this video realize that, hey, I missed out on an opportunity 10 years ago or 7 years ago. It's been a very, very short period of time. And now I don't want to miss it. And so here we are with Gladiacoin, and it's a way that you can accumulate this incredible currency that's only going to build value. I mean, futurologists are already talking $4,000 a Bitcoin within like the next 12 months. I've read articles, and you really want to get involved in this industry, start reading, papers from the experts, the articles. I heard that by year 2030 could be worth $500,000 per Bitcoin. Companies that have invested heavily into Bitcoin, and we're talking, billions of dollars, are the who's who in business around the world. I don't need to read off all these names for you to recognize that these are companies that see where Bitcoin is going to go. They want to plant their flag now and not be left behind. Individuals who have international notoriety for their business expertise and their vision, like Sir Richard Branson, the billionaire who runs the Virgin Empire. You've got Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, talking about Bitcoin, and there's Mark Anderson. For those of us who are a little bit older, like myself, you may remember your first web browser. I sure do. I remember Netscape Navigator. Mark Anderson was the inventor of that particular browser, has invested heavily into Coinbase and hundreds of millions or more dollars into cryptocurrency companies. In order to receive Bitcoin, you need a wallet, a Bitcoin wallet, and you can go online, you can get these for free, and it stores Bitcoin so that you can basically use it to buy and sell, okay? You also need an exchange account, which you can set up. It's like a bank. An exchange, think of it, you're exchanging Bitcoin for dollars and dollars for Bitcoin or whatever currency you happen to be using in your particular country. And then, of course, you've got like BitPay, which has become very popular, and a lot of people are getting this. It's only like $9.95, less than $10, and you can actually load Bitcoin on there, and that would be the equivalent of your prepaid debit card, except you're using Bitcoin, which is kind of nice. And as you begin to accumulate even more Bitcoin, even though it's very secure, maybe you want to keep it offline. For example, like myself, I mean, if I got 10,000 Bitcoin, which I hope to have, then I'm going to put it in this little device that I can carry around with me. It's like on its own little miniature encrypted hard drive, and I plug it into the computer, and then I would fund my Bitcoin wallet with like maybe 8 or 10 Bitcoin, and then the rest of my 10,000 I'm keeping on that little device. At any rate, this is what a wallet looks like if you haven't got one before. It'll keep the dollar value that you see there at the top, but when you get it, your wallet, and you set it up, if you use blockchain, for example, the reason I like it so well is because they have an app version that you can keep on your smartphone. It's totally encrypted, but you're known by an address, and that's the address there. It's a series of letters and numbers, and so when you're sending payment, it's not like you're sending it to an individual where you need to have their driver's license, you have to have their address, their phone number. They've already set up their account, they already have this, and so when you do a transaction with somebody who has Bitcoin, all they do is they send you their address, and then you type in the address, or you can hold it up to your computer screen and just scan the QR code and just look at the amount on there. In this case, you can see you're sending 3.13 Bitcoin to this particular address, and then you just hit send payment, and within, boom, milliseconds, that payment is done, and it's received to the Bitcoin wallet on the other end, and that's how it works. And it only costs fractions of cents to do that. Now, that could be your next-door neighbor, or it could be somebody on the other side of the world. It still happens in fractions of seconds. That's what's made this so popular. The most amount of Bitcoin that has actually been moved is a single transaction worth $150 million, okay? So here is where you would receive the Bitcoin. If that was your number, then you had received, in this case, 0.1, and you can see the transactions there. It'll hold all the transactions that you have used, both receiving Bitcoin and sending Bitcoin. It's actually very simple to use once you get the hang of it. It's kind of like when you got your first smartphone. It took maybe 2 or 3 times, but now you don't even have to give it any thought. Bitcoin is being accepted by tens of thousands of merchants around the world. Some of the name brand retailers that like Starbucks and Expedia, Whole Foods, just to name a few, are accepting Bitcoin as payment just like you'd use your Visa or MasterCard. Japan made a huge announcement which had a ripple effect on the price of Bitcoin almost overnight, when on April 1st they officially recognized Bitcoin as digital currency, as money. Okay, so now you have the major banks of Japan all getting behind Bitcoin because now it is recognized as a currency. All the major mega banks are now behind the Bitcoin exchanges on this. And it caused the price of Bitcoin to escalate more than $200 over the weekend when this announcement came out. It was hovering about $900, $1,000 per Bitcoin. Then all of a sudden, April 1st comes, Japan makes this huge announcement. It's picked up everywhere. The price of Bitcoin just shot up like $200 overnight. And guess what? If you're a trader or an investor, you're able to see this news coming in advance, position yourself, and the traders were able to capitalize on this transaction. But here's where it gets better for the end user or the consumer. Over 260,000 stores in Japan by this summer are going to be accepting Bitcoin as payment. And it's very simple. I mean, a few years from now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be using Bitcoin as payment, and we're not going to think anything of it. Like right now, we're just learning more about it. But, you'll walk into a place of business, and it might be Starbucks, and you hold up your smartphone, and, it's point something, something, something for a cup of coffee. No problem. I hold up my smartphone, and Starbucks has their wallet there, and boom, the transaction is done, and you never pulled a dime out of your pocket. It was all done through Bitcoin. So there are exchanges around the world that you can go to and buy cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and many others. There's more than 700 currencies, which I'll talk about here in just a moment. But like any commodity, you can trade it, and you see days to where it's up and some days where it's down, and so it's no different really than buying a stock. And the idea is to buy when it's at its lowest and sell when it's at its highest. Well, there's 710 cryptocurrencies available for trade online. And the reason it's important that you understand this is because this is where they're making money in Gladiacoin. They're trading cryptocurrency against cryptocurrency. Now, of course, Bitcoin is what Simon says is the elephant in the room. It's got a market cap of 20 billion, and I mean, it's got 80% of the market out there. But you've got these up-and-coming cryptocurrencies that are niche-specific, and if you know how to trade one against another, you can make a lot of money in this, and that market is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So who we are with Gladiacoin? Well, we're simply a platform working with the digital economy. That's it. We're able to make money through the exchanges because one exchange has got a higher sell price than another or a higher buy price than another. And so they're able, in their computer algorithms, to plug in these various exchanges around the world, and they're able to make a significant income on that. Plus, we're able to do trading, both through live traders and artificial intelligence, to where you've got algorithms set up to where they can make trades in microseconds with these 710 cryptocurrencies. And so for us to be able to pay out 2.2% a day is very plausible and very sustainable. And believe me, Gladiacoin is making a lot of money using our Bitcoin to trade. I mean, let's face it, there's only so much that we can make as an individual if we're trading 1 or 2 Bitcoin, right? But if we're pulling our Bitcoin collectively and we're allowing Gladiacoin to trade it for us, they might be trading as much as 1,000 Bitcoin in a single day on a single transaction, and they're sharing the profits with us a little bit, but they're keeping the lion's share. And that's okay with me because I don't want to be involved with the trading aspect of it. Because here's the exclusive benefits. Number one is with this platform, it will double the value of the Bitcoin in 90 days depending on the plan that you select, which means if you started with a half a Bitcoin in 90 days, it'll be worth 1 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, etc. But the thing is, you don't have to wait 90 days in order to see the fruits of that doubling, because every day that trader bonus is paid to you directly into your blockchain wallet. If you decide to join Gladiacoin and you create an account, one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to go into the back office once you log in, and you're going to copy and paste the address of your Bitcoin wallet that you have set up outside the system of Gladiacoin. And that's where you're going to use the Bitcoin to pay for your package. It's also going to be the wallet that you're going to receive Bitcoin value every single day. Okay? There's no tedious activities. You don't have to be a computer guru. You don't have to know anything about trading, margins and calls and everything else. There's so many different terminologies and graphs and charts you have to read in order to be an expert at that. I don't have that capacity. My brain wasn't built that way. But I can gladly hand them a little bit of my Bitcoin, let them double it, and have them pay me for just simply recommending this service to other people. It is fully automated, automatically deposited every single day into your blockchain wallet, which is great, at 12 midnight Singapore time. And you want to put that into your world clock on your smartphone. It goes into the maintenance mode, and what it does for 15 or 20 minutes is that it calculates the daily trading bonus, and then it sends it out directly to every member who's participating in the program. And depending on what part of the world that you live in, I wake up every day and I got coin in my wallet, and it's a beautiful thing. My wife also has an account, and she's even happier that she has her own coin. She has her own wallet set up, and she's so proud of herself. And it's just wonderful. And it's great to see that this works very, very fast. And so as a result, it has created just an incredible amount of enthusiasm and participation of the people that are looking at this platform. Daily payments is the key. I got to tell you something. If it would still be a great program if we got paid at the end of 90 days, no doubt about it. However, being able to see money on a daily basis, I don't know about you, but there's just something about getting paid every day that just moves you into activity. And so you just can't wait to share the information with other people. And it's a real testament to the strength of this program. International presence. If you want to build around the world, you can. You're only limited by the language because right now the website will only translate into English, Spanish, and Portuguese. But you can network and talk to people around the world if you choose. Put it up on your Facebook page. Talk about what's going on with you. Kind of spread the word. I mean, the idea is to help people accumulate Bitcoin. It happens in real time. The trading takes place 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But guess what? So do the payments. You get paid not 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You get paid every single day through this platform. Now, we have a binary network, which is optional. It is a great network, which just simply means you get paid on infinite levels from 5 to 15% daily. There are no fast start bonuses. There are no matching bonuses. There are no titles or qualifications, and there is no monthly auto ship. Okay? So it is very straightforward. If you choose to participate in helping us to refer other people to Gladiacoin, they want to say thank you by offering you an incentive to do that. And that can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. But I got to tell you, it's very simple to use. If you go to the website of Gladiacoin.com, the one thing that you will notice, it's very clean, it's very easy and simple to understand. People get it. And then with a video like this, hopefully we can tie in a few loose ends for you. We've got training videos available on our website for you to take advantage of the systems that we've put into place. So there's two ways that you can earn through Gladiacoin, only two. One is that you can earn passively. Maybe you just want to, kick the tires, test the water a little bit. Well, guess what? You can start small, and you can earn passively 2.2% for a period of 90 days. At the end of 90 days, you have one of two options. You can continue to renew for another 90 days, or you can just simply walk away from the program, and whatever you came in with, you walk away as a happy customer because you have doubled your Bitcoin in 90 days. But I got to tell you, the majority of the people, and I'm going to say 99.999% are going to renew and go for another 90 days. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? The second way that you can earn is through building a binary network. Simon and I, once we saw results within 48 hours, we just started contacting everybody that we knew and just said, look, take a look at the information. What did we say? One statement that worked really well for us is when we called somebody up is just simply, hey, I found a way to where you can get Bitcoin at 50% discount. Would you be interested in taking a look at a video to learn how to do that? Or, if I could show you a way to earn, double the amount of Bitcoin in 90 days, would you have an interest? But what really worked for us was, for business people especially, you said, what, you can get Bitcoin at 50% off? How's that work? Well, just go watch the video and it'll explain everything. And that's how we got started. And it just flat off took off for us. So how it works is that you will be paid 5 to 15% of all the Bitcoin volume on your lesser leg. That is through infinite levels, okay? Paid daily. Can you imagine getting paid daily, not only in your trader bonus, but on any binary income as well? It's incredible. I remember just last week when Simon got his best pay since joining, it was over $6,000. Now he's getting that every other day. $6,000, a couple of times a week. Here is basically how the binary system works. You basically only have to qualify once. You enroll one person on your left team, one person on your right, and it calculates all the Bitcoin packages that were purchased in your organization to infinite levels. And then depending on the package that you selected, then you will earn from 5 to 15% per day on the volume of Bitcoin that is in your lesser team. And remember, anytime somebody doubles their Bitcoin and they renew their contract for another 90 days, that's new money that's coming back into Gladiacoin, and we get paid on that all over again. So you have this this constant churning of volume every 90 days, new Bitcoin is coming back into the system, and you're getting paid over and over and over again. Plus, anytime somebody were to upgrade their package, which they can do from the bonus Bitcoin that they receive, that counts as an upgrade. We get paid on that as well. It's super fair. So here are the different packages or plans that are available for you to pick from. And I call this like tier 1. This is just kind of, how you can get started for, hardly any money. You've got Spartacus 1, which is 0.05, which is about $60 to $70, depending on the price of Bitcoin. It changes daily. This is the only plan that does not offer the doubling feature because there's not enough time to double 0.05 Bitcoin in 90 days. However, if you want to refer people, you can earn 5% on the binary up to a maximum that you can see there of 3 Bitcoin monthly. Well, 3 Bitcoin monthly is still over $3,600. So, that's a really good part-time income for sure. But then maybe you want to upgrade to Spartacus 2, and that's 0.10, and that does double in 90 days. You get an increase in the binary, and it also increases the monthly Bitcoin that you can receive. The sustainability is so evident on how they put this plan together because they have got caps or limitations on what you can earn to protect the long-term growth of the payout. I'm going to skip right ahead over here. As you can see, the sweet spot on this tier planning is Spartacus 4, and that's 0.5 Bitcoin. That'd be 1/2 of a Bitcoin, which right now is about $600. This would double in 90 days, so if you start with 1/2 a Bitcoin, it becomes 1 full Bitcoin. It increases your binary to 9% instead of 5%. 1 Bitcoin is the daily limit. It can't pay more than 1 Bitcoin per day. So, still that's about 1,200 a day or 30 per month. The next generation of packages that are available would be Spartacus 5, 6, and 7. And Spartacus 5 is 1 Bitcoin. And this is where I started. This will double in 90 days, so 1 becomes 2. 11% on the binary, and you can see the cap there. Very quickly, within a few days, I upgraded, and I went to Spartacus 6. Now, anytime that you upgrade your package, all you do is you pay the difference. You don't have to buy a brand new package. So when I went from Spartacus 5 to Spartacus 6, all I had to do was pay 1 additional Bitcoin. I didn't have to pay 2 more. The binary went up to 13% from 11, which is huge, and so did my monthly cap. And now I was able to upgrade to Spartacus 7, which is the top package that you can get, and that's 4 Bitcoin. And I did this basically through the bonus Bitcoin that I was receiving on a daily basis through the trader bonus. And now I'm at the top of the plan with respect to the package. I'm not leaving anything on the table. 15% on the binary. 8 Bitcoin per day is my limit, and that's the limit on the account. And you want to set up more than one account. I'll show you that in just a little bit. But the monthly cap is 240 Bitcoin per month. Now look, that doesn't sound like a lot. But if you type 240 Bitcoin into a Bitcoin converter, step back because it's over $240,000 per month. Okay? So it is very simple to participate. Choose a plan that is suitable for you. If you face any resistance whatsoever, just simply say, look, start with a lower package. Can you risk $100? Can you risk, $600? You're only exposed for a period of 45 days. And you may be thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, if your money doubles in 90 days, right, your Bitcoin doubles, pardon me, in 45 days, you've been receiving that 2.2% daily. You've already recouped your initial investment when you got started. And from the 46th day on, you're basically playing with the house's money. What we found is that most people will start with a lower package if they don't get it right away, and then they log into their account or they wake up the next day and they all of a sudden they've got a deposit in their blockchain wallet and they go, wow, this works. And then they upgrade right away. The goal is to get up to Spartacus 7 as quickly as possible so that you can double the amount of Bitcoin for you, if it only makes sense for you. So with that, what I want to share with you is an optimum account positioning strategy. And if this makes sense to you, this is what I highly recommend. If it doesn't, you can just basically watch it and then maybe come back to it at a later time. But the idea is that you want to start with 3 separate accounts and fund it if you're in a position at Spartacus 7, which is 4 Bitcoin each. And the reason that you want to do that is twofold. One, your first account is now qualified to begin earning 15% daily binary commissions up to 8 Bitcoin per day. Because the only qualification is that you enroll 2 people, one on the left and one on the right, but those accounts can be yours. And so because of the fact that it's limited to 8 Bitcoin per day, you can max out an account very quickly. And we've seen this happen with people that have only been in for a month or less are already maxing out one of their accounts on a daily basis. So it makes no sense to continue pouring energy into an account that you can't make any more money on. But what does make sense is that you have multiple accounts so that when one does max out, you can quickly move to another account, build that, build another account up to 8 Bitcoin per day, so on and so forth. Okay? So here's what happens, though, when you set that up. First of all 3 accounts now begin earning the daily trading bonus of 2.2% every day for the next 90 days. So if you were to look at one account at 4 Bitcoin times 2.2%, that's 0.088 per account. Multiply that by 3, and you can see daily you're going to receive 0.264. Well, what does that mean in dollars and cents? Well, if you type that into the Bitcoin converter, you will see that it equals $323 per day. So you haven't even begun to build yet or refer anybody, and yet these accounts are paying you $323 worth of Bitcoin per day, every day, into your blockchain wallet. The second thing that you can do, though, is take advantage of the binary income, and because you set up these accounts, immediately you qualify for a binary income on your own purchase, which is really nice, right? You just set up the accounts to leverage yourself, and you're going to earn a binary commission when you do that. Well, 15% on your lesser team. In this case, each team has 4 Bitcoin. So it doesn't matter. You're going to get 15% on 4 Bitcoin. So let's use account number 2. 15% of 4 Bitcoin happens to be 0.60 Bitcoin. Guess what? That's another $729. So just for setting up your accounts, you put in more than $1,000 in Bitcoin that you receive the next day. The second strategy is that you can start with 7 separate accounts and fund them with 4 Bitcoin each. And this is exactly what my friend Simon did. For the first 2 days, I think he started with 1 or 2 Bitcoin. He quickly saw how this was going to go in what direction, and so he had some gold that he had in a safe deposit box in his bank. And so he sold his gold, took a loss on that, I might add, of like $6,000, I think he said. But at any rate, he had enough from his gold, the asset there, to fund this asset on Bitcoin, and he started with 7 accounts that he funded. And he put 3 accounts on his left and 3 accounts on his right. He funded each one with Spartacus 7 or 4 Bitcoin each, and here's what happened. Each account right away started earning 2.2% per day. So instead of 1 account or 3 accounts earning 2.2, he has 7 accounts earning 2.2% per day. And look what happened there. If you put 0.616 into the Bitcoin calculator, it comes out to be $754.62 worth of Bitcoin that he received the very next day. On top of that, he also received a binary commission of 15% on his own accounts. And so if you look at the left side of his business there, you see accounts 2, 4, and 6. If you add that up, that's 12 Bitcoin. So take 12 Bitcoin, which would be the lesser leg, times 15%, that's 1.8 Bitcoin. Put that into the Bitcoin converter, and you come out with $2,188 in Bitcoin that was paid the very next day. So as soon as Simon made this transaction and he funded these 7 accounts, the very next day he had his trader bonus of over $700. Then he also got his binary bonus of over $2,100. Over $3,000 came to him the very next day. He was ecstatic. He said to me, he said, Rick, I've already made up 50% of the loss in my gold in one day. And now he's gone on. He got all the money back from his initial investment within 3 weeks. He's averaging right now anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 per day total income through Gladiacoin. And it has just been an incredible blessing, to say the least. But here's the second reason that you want to take advantage of this structure. And let's say that you don't have 4 Bitcoin each that you can fund 7 accounts with. Can you do it with 1 account? Start at the top with 4 Bitcoin, and then fund the next 6 accounts with the lowest package that we have, which is Spartacus 1. So if you take 6 times 0.05, that's 0.3 Bitcoin. So you can take 4.3 Bitcoin to fund each one of these 7 accounts. The reason that you do this is because once these accounts have populated into the genealogy, every one of them can be collecting the volume of Bitcoin in your organization from the very first person that enrolls on your left team to the very first person who enrolls on your right team to infinite levels. Now, the only account that is going to receive the 15% binary, the only account that is qualified is account number 1 because it's enrolled one person left, one person right. But the accounts 642 and 753 on your right are all collecting the volume because the volume does not flush. So when your first account maxes out at 8 Bitcoin per day, you don't have to start at 0. You just go down to account number 2, and all you have to do is build one leg because you've got all the Bitcoin that's been accumulating from your left team for however long it's done. But remember, it doesn't flush. So now you send people to that website to join. When account number 2 maxes out, then you go over to account number 3. You don't have to start at 0. You've already got banked volume of all the Bitcoin that's been in your right team, and so on and so on. William Portillo, who is our upline, and John Barksdale, who's our immediate sponsor, William has 7 accounts that he's maxed out at 8 Bitcoin per day, and right now he makes 100,000 in Bitcoin every 3 days. John Barksdale, who got in a week before us, has 4 accounts that has been maxed out. When I met with him last week here in Bangkok, he had just maxed out his 4th account. He's been in a week longer than us. So take, 4 times 8, 32 Bitcoin a day. I think that's a good pay. So this is a strategy that you want to take advantage of for your future growth. Not that it might be immediate, but think of it like chess. You want to be 3 or 4 moves down the road, and by setting up this structure when you first get started, then you can come back and build these accounts later on down the road and be very, very glad that you did. Just simply refer back to the person who invited you to take a look at this if you need further explanation. I've also got a video that I put together on the website that you can look at under www.bitcoinbillions.com.